Hello, and thank you for joining me. My name is Royal. Wow, it was another good day in the market. A little tougher day today overall. As you can see on my position summary here, I actually ended up trading 7 different stocks, which is a little high for me. If you look back at my other recaps, I'm typically trading between probably 1 and 4 stocks on any given day. And while the market was still hot, our leading gapper at one point was up over 400%. I struggled a little bit more. There seemed to be a little less continuation today. We would have stocks pop up and then immediately pull back. There wasn't a lot of continuation on those, even hitting the new high of day. So you'd have a stock that would pop up, hit a new high of day, and then immediately pull back 20 or 30 cents. And those highs of day were sometimes coming in at key psychological resistance levels 350, $4, 450. And so the rhythm to really get a lot of extension on any given stock today was a little bit tougher for me. I did end up profitable on the day, up $709, which was great. I'm excited about another great green day. The MBAI stock was my leading gainer on the day. I ended up $2,200 on that. BATL, which was actually the top gapper this morning, I ended red on. And I think that speaks to a little bit of the struggle I had just with the stock popping, not really getting continuation. I had added into my winning position and then ended up either red or assuming break even. And there just wasn't a lot of continuation in some of those plays. So I've included the full recap here as part of this video, but again, excited to end the day green. It's a great start of the week. This is our final week of January. For the month, I'm now up presently over $17,000 on the month. I am trading in a simulator to focus on my repetition, consistency, and taking the correct entries and exits. So, really hope you enjoy this full live trading recap. Wishing you all the very best today.
Good morning. I'm watching EVTV right now. I just took a 1,500 share starter position right here. This is our leading gainer on the morning. It's up 52% right now, and it is the leading low flow top gainer that I just added. Looking now for the break of the new high. We've been in this mid compression squeeze, so I've got 4,500 shares right here, and looking if this will break through pre-market high up around 317. My average cost right now 303, and as I see this coming back on this mid compression squeeze, again that's what I'm looking for is for this break of the pre-market high to set a new pre-market high here. So we'll see where this goes. So still watching this for the break of that pre-market high, which is right at 317. We've come up there a couple times. There we go. There's a nice break. There's 325. We're trying for 325 here. Here we go, 325. Take a look at the daily and see. We've got the 200 right at 303. I'm going to take half off there. That hit that new high and then pull back, and I don't want to be holding a lot. This is going to pull back too far. So I'm going to set a sell limit back up a little higher, try to take a little more off here for some profit. I'm going to take 500 more off there, 313. I do like that the TTM is still strong bull here, but I was looking for more acceleration there on that breakthrough the pre-market high, and we didn't get it. So I'm going to take the rest off right there. So I'm out the rest. The base hit, small winner there. So easy way to start the day. And like I said, I was thinking we'd get more acceleration through. We did hit a high of 327, but I really thought this might give us a run up to 350. The 200 EMA is there at 303, so we're right at that 200. There's a daily resistance at 323 and then 355. So we kind of ran into that daily right there, that daily level 323, and then 355's the next daily resistance, and then after that we would have 444. So pretty decent possibility up there to 444. So we'll watch this here. See if this will give us another setup. The next leading low float top gainer is um, SVRE is up 17.5%. So not a lot, a little slower. We do have some top gappers. Take a look at those. So BATL is one that we can switch over to and look at. Let's zoom out here. This looks like it might be setting up for a nice curl. So when we look at BATL, I do like these EMAs are lined out. Looks like we just got a new 5-minute candle, so the 5-minute chart's looking good here. I'm going to take a starter right there on 500 shares. Look for this to press up through 6. I'm in there at 593, so let's watch and see what this does. I'll pop back over to EVTV really quick as well. Looks like it's trying to hold up and maybe push higher again. Still watching BATL here. I'm in at 593. I'm going to go ahead and exit there and take that one off the table. EVTV looks like it still wants to continue. We're holding above that 200 EMA, which is a good sign. I think BATL could be a good option. There's a nice press there. I'm going to take a starter there at 314. Added there. And for this breakthrough, 320, quite a bit of selling up there at 320. There's 318 again. 321, good. 23, good. Let's see if we can break higher here. So we've got 2,500 shares here. Average cost is 314 right now. I added there at 319. Looking for that break. There's 322. We're continuing to hold the ADMA, which is a good sign. It's just not breaking very quickly. A lot of resistance there at that 320 price. There's 322. You can see how we pop up above 320 and hit 322. Took just a little off there. So took 1,000 shares off there at 320. A lot of selling. You can see there's orders still going through at that 320. There we go. There's a better break. Good. So I still have 1,500 shares. I'm going to break, and then a little pullback. I'm going to add back there. There we go. Add again. Now we're looking to see if we can get some accelerated covering, short covering here, along with more buying. Now 355 is my next target. I added back, so I've got my 2,500 shares there. I'm going to add again. Looking for this push up to 350, 355. I'm going to add again there. So watching to see if this will squeeze up to 350. I'll throw out a limit order to sell 1,000 if we hit 350. I've got that in there. We're now up 73%, so this is starting to attract a little bit more attention here. There's 345, good. We want to see this really accelerate up through that daily level. My average cost right now is 329. See if we can get this press higher on this candle. Kind of a little drop and then some nice buying pressure. So I'm taking some off here. We're not breaking. I'm going to go ahead and exit the rest of that there and switch back to BATL. We're now getting that curl on BATL. So really big press there. That went up through 6 and 610 and now right up to 630. I'm watching here to see if this will give us a possible entry. BATL, so BATL is up 391% right now, so we did have a big gainer on the, sorry, big gapper here. And then BNAI, but it's clear up at $58 a share, so that'll outprice where I want to be trading. Good volume so far. Looking to see if this is going to hold or give us any type of kind of consolidation. I took a 500 share start right there at 637. I'm being cognizant of maybe a pullback to this AEMA, which is really where I would like to be taking the bulk of my position. But it might put in a little bull flag here and push higher with this quick burst up that it had. I'm in at 637 right now. Really nice 5-minute chart. That looks good. Got volume coming back in on the 5-minute, just meaning that the current 5-minute volume bar is quite a bit higher than the prior red 5-minute bar. About 10 seconds left on this current 5-minute chart. I'm gonna add there, looking for this push up higher now. So I added 2 more times at 640 and 641. There's 645. See if we can get this to squeeze higher here, up through 650. There we go, 660. Hit a quick peak up there. And then pretty deep pullback now. So at 650, I'm going to set a sell limit, see if I can get a little out there. But the way that pulled back, kind of that false breakout mode. Like it tried up there and then didn't go. So I'm out there. So a little annoying on that. Just that false breakout and then pulled right back. It could set up and go higher still. But I went ahead and took off my position. I took 500 off at 630 and the other 1,000 at 624. My average cost was basically 639. So about 12 cents average kind of loss on that. So we'll keep watching it here. I do like that the EMAs are lined up. Obviously that topping tail is a little annoying there. So earlier, it was my mistake. I said that EBTV was our top gainer, which is technically the case based upon kind of the pre-market open, but we actually have BATL and BNAI. So BATL is up 390%. It's the top gapper. That's the low flow. And then BNAI is also the second leading top gapper. It's up 247%. So we've got a couple of stocks that have been moving here pretty good this morning. We've got NAMM hitting the scanners here. Nice move from $4 up to about $4.50 right now. So I took a position there on BATL. We're holding the ADMA. Right now I'm assuming that low of 614 would be my stop loss. We'll see what this does. As I mentioned, this is our top gainer right now. Our top gapper, excuse me. This is the top gapper on the day. So I'm in at 633. Okay, so I'm out there. So another small loss amount. I think I'll have to be done with BATL for a while here and see if it'll set up. We've got a few other stocks going on the scanner that I think are taking the attention. Right now, NVVE is one of those. So it's had a really nice move here. Now up 120%, just right out of the gate. So really big move there. BATL, you can see that really big pullback. EVTV is now kind of selling lower. Show you these couple. So EVTV is kind of fading there. Let's go with BATL, similar back down below the 21 EMA. Not really fading yet. I like that these EMAs are still lined out, but this just had another little false breakout there where I took this entry looking for that pushback up. So out of both of those, just very small red right now on the day. NVVE looks like it might be setting up for maybe a first 1 minute candle to make a new high. We'll go look at NVVE. I had the prior candles 547, a little heavier selling volume, the prior candle. Looking at these two wicks down here, it's around 5. So I took an entry right there, 511. I'm going to keep a pretty tight stop loss, like a 495 at most. If we break the low of these wicks, I want to be exiting. Oh, okay, I barely touched that low and then right back up there. So I exited. I exited that 498. So they're a much deeper pullback. I didn't want to be holding that for a potential deeper pullback, which they were getting it. So worth a stab to see if we held kind of that VWAP and then got this press higher where this is up over 100% really quickly. Right now, I'll just watch and see if we can hold any type of support. I'm gonna go look at AUST. It's been hitting the scanners here too. Lighter volume is probably the only tough part with AUST. The top candle on the 1 minute chart, the largest volume candle, is only done 193,000 shares, so not quite enough volume there, I don't think, in AUST. BATL trying to curl back up here. It's held the 21 back up above the 8. I'm gonna go ahead and take a starter there. I like that we're back up above the 21 EMA. Small position there. I've got 1,000 shares. I'm essentially assuming like a 607 kind of stop loss here. As I look at the 5 minute chart, this could actually be a really nice first 5 minute candle to put in a new high, which would be at 636. So 636 could be a potential add place here. Watching this, there's 630. I add there at 633. Just looking for that break in first 5 minute candle to make a new high. Bigger seller there is 20,000 shares. Just watching this curl back up, see if it'll give us a nice move higher. So first 5 minute candle to make a new high would be 636. So I'm watching here. Nice to see if we could break that 636 and get a push back up to pre-market high. So I'm still in here right now. 625 is my position. Okay, I've got to exit there. That was 607. I'm going to keep watching this though. This looks like this could still give us a setup. We've got these EMAs lined out. You can see it's, pop and then a topping tail. And then we came up looking for this extension again and it didn't go this time. So just sit on the sideline and wait and see if the space is out. we can hold $6, that would look nice. The 8 and the 21 EMA could come together, and we could still look for a possible flip back on the TTM histogram from weak bear, excuse me, from strong bear back to weak bear. So we'll watch for that here. I'm watching GXAI on my other charts right now. It's trying to break up through the VWAP at 211. I took a position there on GXAI as it's breaking VWAP. Switch over to GXAI. So there's GXAI transitioning to strong bull here. I'm going to add, looking for this curl back up to this pivot, basically 230, about 237. So watch this here, continue to see if we can get a curl up. The 5-minute chart looks good. Really like to see this hold VWAP here. BATL trying again. Kind of up around the 21. Still in GXAI, so just watching this here, this 21 EMA. I don't like that we fell back below the VWAP, so I am looking at this bullish histogram down on the TTM. MACD's still open, so I'm just kind of watching here to see, will this give us a recovery back up through VWAP? So it looks like we might be getting some more weakness here on GXAI. But just watching to see what it does here. We're 204, that's right at that 21 EMA. I'm in at 216. See if we can get a push back up through VWAP here and recover that. It came up to VWAP and then some selling right there. So still watching GXAI here. See if we can get a break back up through VWAP. We are still strong bull on the histogram. MACD's open. We're definitely running into a little bit of headwind right there around the 21 EM, excuse me, right around the VWAP. On the daily chart, we're above the 200, which is a good sign. And we've got a little bit of a window up to 218. It hit above that in the pre-market high, but that pivot at 218, there's a daily pivot there, and then from 218, 234 would be the next target. 218 and then 234. The support low here is about 203, but that's kind of the price I'm watching for potential exit. Let's go look at BATL again. Looks like that's trying to kind of flip that on the histogram. So we know we had a 218 and 234, so I'm going to draw both of those in. 218, looks like we're pulling back harder there. 203, I took my exit there. There's some buying support there at 2. See if this holds, but so right now I've kind of got a decision to make. So I'm a little heavier red. I've tried these last 3 stocks. They haven't worked out. EVTV is the one winner that I've had. BATL is still looking like it's trying. And like we're trying to get this cross up. We're trying to transition here. MACD still closed. We zoom out on BATL. When we got this big spike up, I thought that might be the one that would get us up to new pre-market high, and that just wasn't the case. We sold off from there. So just looking at different charts right now, EVTVs, maybe trying to make a curl up through VWAP. We've got a little bit of a cup and handle on a 5-minute going on with BATL. Take a look at that really quick here on the chart. So if we go look at the 5-minute, you've got this cup and now this handle. Now the handle's a little lower. It'd be nicer if it was up here kind of in the 630s, and then you got this next break up. But we're holding the 5-minute on, excuse me, we're holding the 8 EMA on the 5-minute as well. So that's what I'm looking at right now is this cup. And then again, ideally you'd have a little handle here and a push higher. It's doing its handle, if you will, a little bit lower, but actually still looks pretty good on the 5-minute. Lower selling volume, lower volume on the selling through these current red candles, including on the 1-minute, but about 2 minutes left on the current 5-minute candle. We're holding the 9 EMA and 8 EMA on 5-minute. So just watching here to see the $6 price looks like it wants to continue to hold as well. I'm watching the MACD and the histogram here on the TTM. Just taking a look. This is BATL. It is the leading gapper right now, up 369%. So watching to see what this 5-minute candle does. The prior 5-minute candle's high is 613. There's a little bit of a double top there on that prior 5-minute candle high. We're watching to see if this is going to break. This is BATL. I'm just looking to see what this does here. NAMM has done a decent amount of volume, 8 million shares. It just hit a new high at 450. It's only up 44%, so I'm a little more hesitant to switch over to that one. I don't know that it's kind of the top of mind for leading into the market open here, but it could surprise us. That's NAMM. Again, right now, BATL is the one that I'm watching the closest as we come into the pre-market high here. And BATL definitely trying to hold 6. We've been just moving right along that $6 a share. Yeah, NAMM hitting some new highs there. I'm not going to switch over and watch this one right now. The chart pattern does look nice, but I would have needed to be in back down around 425, and this isn't one that was it's not one that I'm actively watching because I'm watching the other two top gappers right now, BATL and BNAI. But it does look like it's giving some good opportunity, particularly from $4.30 a share up to $4.77. So still watching BATL here. I'm gonna take a starter right there on BATL as we come back up through. I'll look for this to push up. So I've got a starter there. 608 is my average cost. We just hit 620. So I'm in 1,500 shares there. Going to see if this will give us a curl. There's 626. I'm going to add there. That added at 628. My average cost right now is 613. There was 630. So I've got 2,000 shares at 613. So watching to see what this does here. We've still got 3 minutes on the current 5-minute candle. MACD now looking like it's trying to open up. Looks like we're trying to transition to strong bull on the TTM histogram as well. We're in a mid-compression squeeze. There's a little bigger seller there at 624. See if they get bought up. So they just got bought up. There's a 12,000 share seller there at 625. If that seller can get bought up here. I can see 13,000. There's 1211. Popping up again a little bigger. So a little pullback there below 625. So there's 626, another 10,000 share seller there at 626. So just watching here, my average cost is 613. The 5-minute chart looks good. It'd be really nice to see us resolve this higher up to 7. 680 is the pre-market high. And we gave one attempt, the high of the prior 1 minute, or the high of the closest 1 minute candle, that was 671. So there's a 16,000 share seller that got bought up. There's 628, 632. See if we can get this to keep pushing higher here. 633, 30, there we go, 640. See if this will keep going up here as we come into the market open. I'm going to set a sell limit, maybe up at 660. There's 650. So I've got that sell limit right there. So I sold 500 there. So that was a nice push. So we're up at 650 now. We've got just about 10 seconds till the market opens. There's 660. Let's see if we can break through. I've got 1,500 shares here. I did take 500 shares off. This has had some kind of pops and drops, so I don't necessarily want to get stuck in a pop down. So I've got an order there for 500 more to come out. Okay, I'm going to take that off. Okay, so just watching here. Okay, so I'm out there. So I made a little bit back on that, not a lot. Let's see, that might hold the 21 EMA there, which is at down there at about 613 area. So still watching BATL. 21 EMA is 614. I added back there at 639. See if this makes a push back higher. There we go, 670. So I added again there. I added a little bit more, added more there. So now my average cost 667. See if we can get this acceleration up through. I'm in a little high there at 667. There's 650. Okay, I'm out. So I'm not trading this particularly well. It's being BATL is being a little tricky. We're kind of making those pops and then pulling right back, and we're just not getting that continuation. So again, it's the top gap right now at 410%. I'm just not trading it the best, so I'm just going to watch here and see. I took that first entry 639 and then added, which took my average cost up to about 667. That hit 643 is where I exited. 21 EMAs there at 615. It does look like it's kind of trying to hold the 21, but and another topping tail. We got this topping tail up to 690 and then that pullback. So just continuing to watch BATL here. Yeah, BATL really pulling back. I now back down quite a bit. Back down to the 580s. My exit was 643. So you can kind of tell when it's time to get out of these, it's just time to be out and be done if they're not going to press higher. We'll see if this holds 6. BATL has pulled back quite a bit. BNAI, too high priced. It's up at $50 a share. GXAI looks like it might be trying to curl. But again, it's below the VWAP here, so I'm not really watching that one. NVBE has pulled back way too much. EVTV could be an option. Go look at EVTV here. So EVTV, the EMAs are all kind of jumbled together, so they're not really lined out the way I would be looking. That's the one stock that I'm green on today, EVTV. GXAI, maybe trying to come back up to VWAP. GXAI looks interesting here right at the VWAP, 207. So we're just looking to see here what GXAI might do. This is at the VWAP, it's interesting, 209. The EMAs are kind of messed up here, so I'm going to wait on this. I'd like to see this maybe line out and get above that 218. But it looks like it's trying to press higher. Big sellers there up at 213. There's about 40,000 shares. Well, there's about 100,000 shares there of sellers at 213. There's a 41,000 share seller there at 213 on the tape. So those sellers would definitely need to get out of the way here. AUST kind of actually looks interesting. Let's go over to AUST. Looks like it's pressing higher, kind of trying to get up through pre-market high. I'm going to take an entry there on AUST. That's at 287. That's right at the pre-market high. Looking to see if we'll hold that pre-market high. We've had some decent volume. It's a lighter volume right now, but I won't give this a lot of room. I've got 2,000 shares there. Kind of bigger spreads for a low price stock here too. Yeah, not a lot of volume here. I'm gonna go ahead and exit that one. I don't want to hang around and have this do a really big flush. So took the exit there. Looks like this still might try to hold the ADMA. GXAI right up around 212. We've had those sellers stacked up. Still watching to see if this is gonna clear out. We're back right at VWAP here. Strong bull on the histogram. There's the seller stacked. I added there because the seller's clip got bought up there. I hit 215, so I'm in at 214. And then there's the pullback, 211. Let's see if this can push up higher. That seller got bought up at 215 and then drops right back. There's 204. So my average cost right now, 214. I've got 2,000 shares there. Okay, I'm going to exit there. So I took that exit, and we're pulling back much harder. Kind of got up through VWAP, looked like it was going to hold and press higher, and now we pulled back. So I'm out on GXAI. VATL still trying to hold 6. We're kind of just getting pops and drops. That's not a very helpful, not very helpful when you get those. VATL looks like it's moving higher again, so we'll go look at VATL. It's back up above 6. Looks like it might be trying to make a curl here. There's 628. I took a starter right there at 625. This is kind of the only thing that's holding up and not just fading off the day. I'm in just 500 shares at 625, watching to see if we're going to get the 8 coming back up through the 21. So still watching BATL here. There's 628. I added there at 626. Let's see if we can get this push up through back up through 650. There's 630. So I'm in at 625. 633 is current price. 630. Deeper pullback there. 606. Okay, and I'm out. So yeah, same thing again. Just kind of curls up and then these big drops. Not a lot of continuation today, unfortunately, with anything, at least right now. Again, it tries to get up there and then just pulls back. So I was looking at this curl pattern thinking we'd get some resolution maybe up through 660 again and break that pre-market high. This wasn't the case. Watching NAMM here now. It's got a little bit of a curl going on. It's halted up and then had a really big pullback, so kind of interesting here. I took a starter there, 1,500 shares at 465. Looking to see if this will press up through pre-market high and if we can reclaim this short pressure that happened there. I added a little more. I'm in at 469. There's 484. Our limit up's 484. Kind of came up to that and pulled back. Got 4,000 shares here. Average cost is 471. Watching to see what this does. Halt levels moved up to 494. There's 493. Still watching this. Halt levels now 505. There's 505. So there we can see we're stacking into the halt up. So this could turn out good. We'll see. It's first halt, it unhalted down pretty heavily. So I've got 4,000 shares. I'm in the halt here. My average cost is 471. Our halt level is 506 right now. So I'm up $1,300 unrealized on this, and who knows where this will go. As I look at the daily chart, on the daily, there's a high at 568. Current high is 505. So 568 would kind of be the next daily target that would make sense. So that's 568. If we take out that high, then we're in a window, well, 580, so that's pretty tight. So 568 to 580, there's kind of a little bar, or there's a bar there at 580, and then from 580, we're then looking at daily highs like 659, 698. So 659 and 698. So 659 is there, and then 698. I don't know that we'll get there, of course, but as I'm looking at this now, we're back up above the pre-market high. We've curled back up. Came in a halt at 505. We've still got about 4 minutes left on this halt. And I'm up 1,300 unrealized right now. I have my 4,000 shares. Average cost 471. So my average cost is basically the low of this. Well, the low of this candle is 466. So that's kind of right where my average cost is right now. We are MACD open. Strong bull on the TTM histogram. And we'll just have to see what happens next on the unhalt. We've got the first unhalt. So this halted up at 497. Sorry, 495 the first time, and on halted down. Sorry, excuse me, unhalted, moved down, and then now has curled back up through that prior halt level. So we're showing basically a flat resumption, and we still have 2.5 minutes to go on resumption. Okay, so now halt levels move. Sorry, the resumption price is moving up just a little bit. We're 510 now on resumption. Resumption's going to be here in about 15 seconds. So we'll watch the resumption price. 505 was the halt level. So let's just see what this does. There's 510, 504. I'm going to take half off there. Try to take half off, see if that'll fill. That was at 501. 490. Let's see if that 501 will exit us there. There's 501. So I got half off there at 501. The stronger buying back up. Let's see if this will move higher now. I'm going to take another half off there at 505. So I've got 1,000 shares left. Average cost is 480. A lot of kind of craziness right around 5. It's like pulls way down and then pushes higher. And so just sitting, I've got this final 1,000 shares. Average cost is 480. There's back up to 514. We're kind of trying to hold that. We're kind of trying to hold that 505 halt level. It's gotten down below. We haven't closed the candle above the halt level yet. This candle's got about 30 seconds left, and is right now looking at as the best option. There's 524, 25. So there's some big sellers there at 530. There's about 38,000 shares on one of those sellers. So they got up to 530, now pulling back again. We've actually closed above the halt level now, so let's see if this will give us anything else. I'm still holding. I haven't done any ads or add backs here. Kind of erratic with this price action right around 5. So I put in an order to take another quarter off there at 517. We'll see if that fills that build there. Okay, so I got another 250 shares out there at 517. Now we're trying to push up. There's those bigger sellers there at 530, 16,000 and 12,000 share seller. They got bought up or pulled their orders. Now we're up to 533. I'm gonna take another 250, another quarter size. Sorry, that was 187 shares off there. So I'm gonna try to hold these as long as I can. I know the topping tail coming in there. I put in an order there at 526 to take off some more. That would be another 140 shares out if we pop back up to 526. So you can see we're not really getting that quick acceleration. Pretty big buyer there, 36,000 share buyer at 518. A big pullback there, down to 5. Average cost is 482, which is just above the pre-market high. So still watching here. Larger selling on that hollow candle right there, that hollow green candle. We've got 563 shares left right here. We're still trying to hold that $5 level. I put out a sell limit there at 520 for 263 shares. That's about half of my remaining position. So let's see if we can get a pop back up. 520 be right there if we can get a pop back up to that and get some more out off of the table at a good price. So watching here to see if this will pop back up to 520. We're still kind of trying to hold the 8 period moving average here, but we're not getting a lot of move up off of 5. So I exited the rest of my position there. I was kind of assuming break even, worst case scenario. My break even was 580. I took that off at 584. We are still above the pre-market high, which is interesting. That went down, touched the 21 EMA. We lost the 8 there, and I took off the rest of my position on that candle. So now just watching to see if there's anything else. BATL's pulled way back. BNAI is too high priced, and it's sold off. Crazy thing, BNAI hit a pre-market high of $82. It's now at 35. We've got GXAI sold way back down below 2. It's at $1.67. There's some deeper pullback on NAM, NAMM. It's back down to 470. So glad I took my exit where I did. So it looks like I might end up the day red today. Um, red $870 right now. I don't love that, of course. You'd always love to have green days, but I'm gonna manage to keep these red days smaller if and when I'm gonna have them, and know that there'll be additional trading days this week. It's the first day of the week. I've had a great week last week. Had a great month so far. We can take a look at that just really quick. And I've got to post my recap for last week still. But if I take a look at last week on my metrics or on my performance, so for last week, I ended up $5,200 on the week. Really nice, consistent $1,000 days. Monday trading was closed for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so the market was closed. But up on the month so far, 17,750. I've got a smaller red day right now, 850 approximately. We go look at where I'm at on the day right now. Minimize this guy. So 871, so a little smaller red. This is looking like NAM's trying to curl back up above 5 here. So I'm going to watch this here, close out of this position summary and watch and see if we kind of can recover and curl back up. It would be a little early on the 5-minute chart. We're only up 50%. This would be kind of premature on the 5-minute chart. The prior 5-minute candle is a larger red volume candle. It did about 4 million shares of volume on the prior 5-minute, and it was a red candle. So that doesn't look the best. But looking at NAMM, it's still trying to hold 5. MACD's closed. There's still about 3 minutes left on this 5-minute candle, so I'm a little cautious here to try anything with this. Let's make it a nice push higher. So just watching NAMM. Low of that candle is 5. So move up to 520. Still watching. We've got about 2 minutes left on this current 5-minute candle. EVTV right back up to VWAP here. Let's go look at EVTV. Pretty deep pullback, and then now kind of back up above VWAP. NAM back up there to 520. I like that the EMAs are lined out on NAM. I mean, this actually looks good We keep bumping 520 and pulling back, as you can see there on the price action. 45,000 share seller there at 510. So there's a big seller right there on the level too. You can see 45,000 shares. That would definitely have to, that seller would have to get bought up or pull their order to allow this to move any higher. Still watching here to see. I don't see that seller there at 510. Looks like they may have pulled their order because we were not trading up at 510 and now that seller's not there. 5-minute chart still looks good on this, especially if we could hold $5. This could actually get really interesting. A little deeper pullback to the 21 EMA. So still watching NAMM here. Got about 3 minutes left on the current 5-minute candle. It's a little bit of ascending support right here. Kind of watching off of that ascending support line right there. 2 minutes left. $10,000 share buyer there at 490. So switching over to SLGB, it's getting some attention here. Pretty extended on the 5-minute. It did have a first 1-minute candle to make a new high right there, 282 that resolved up to 315. But we're pretty extended on the EMAs. I feel like I would be buying at the top if I was doing anything up here. So for anybody to cut that move up through the pre-market highs, good opportunity for them. SLGB is now up 130%. EVTV still looks like it's trying. It's dropped back below VWAP. Now it's back up above. You can see NAMM back up above 5 as well. A couple of stocks here that are kind of trying. I think just we've got a little bit of divided attention possibly. That held. Maybe it might be transitioning on the histogram right here. See if this holds 5. I'm gonna take a starter right there. That's 500 shares at 5. My stop loss, I'm assuming, kind of down in the high 480s. We'll see what this does here. If we can push up higher through 505. There's a push I added there. So average cost now 511. Looks like we might be transitioning back on the histogram. There's 515. I don't want to give this a ton of space in case we get that kind of whipsaw action out. We really need to break up through 520, so there's 515 on the ask. Take a look at the 5-minute chart on NAMM. This would be first 5-minute candle to make a new high. The high of the prior candle is 511, so that's right where I'm in, is that first 5-minute candle to make a new high. I'm going to pop up there to 515. There's 520. Some sellers there, they got bought up. Now we're getting pulled back a little bit there. So I'm kind of assuming like 499 back of mine stop loss here. We're trying to hold out. It's like every time we pop up, we just get this barrage of selling. There's 520 again, 525. It's like we pop up and then we get the selling. So let's just see what this does here. Just trying to be patient and let this unwind. There we go. There's a 540 pop. That was nice. Let's see if we can get the next leg higher. I added there. My average cost is now 525. Got 2,500 shares. We could get some resolution up into the 580. There's a big seller stack there at 550. So still watching. There's 540. Still strong bull on the histogram. Minute 525 average cost here. So that's selling up at 550. I'm going to put out to sell 500 shares there at 550 if we get that pop back up and take a little bit off. There's 549, 548 on the ask, 547. So I got 500 shares off there. Seller stack there still, see if they get bought up. There we go, 557. Good. The doji candle right there. So I've got another sell order right there. So I took 500 more off. Kind of getting a little, it feels a little top heavy up here in the 550s. So 548, I've got another order to take some off. I got an order there at 543, so I took 500 off there. That doji candle coming in, I don't like the looks of up here at the top. I've got 500 more at 548 to come out if we can get that touch back up there. So because of my add backs, my average cost right now is 546. Still in a mid compression squeeze. Okay, so that went out. I've got 500 shares left there. As I mentioned, my average cost is 546 because as I added on the way up. So just 500 shares is what I have remaining. That 5-minute candle looks strong though. That's the highest volume candle on the day so far, and it ended green. So that can be a good sign for the 5-minute chart. We're kind of getting these dojis up here on the 1 minute. First one and then another one, kind of that indecision mode a little bit. So we're now down below my average cost of 546. A little pullback to the 8 and a pop up. This would be interesting to add. This high is 551. I'm going to add back 500 there at 548. So I've got 1,000 shares. I'm looking for this break. Let's pop up to 568. And I got 3 doji candles in a row. TTM histogram still strong bull. MACD's open. We're trying to hold 540, it looks like, on the price. Gonna get down to 538 and it pops back up above 540. So just watching the level 2 here. There's 540 again. There's a little bit deeper pullback to the 530s. Right back up to 544. Another doji candle, 4 doji candles in a row. So that high is 548. That's right where we're at. I have a lot of indecision right there around that 550. Okay, a little deeper pullback there, so I took that off. So out the rest there. Nice little gainer back, so maybe back about another 300 there. Now we'll watch what this does. Interestingly enough, so the histogram, we're still bullish overall on the histogram. Watch and see if we hold the 21 EMA here. There's a lot of selling up at that 540. You can see these topping tails, which can be interesting if you can get a short squeeze because you've got all of those sellers, potential short sellers right there in those at those price levels, and if you can get a quick short squeeze up to the 580 but area even potentially. So we've got a minute left on the current 5-minute chart. There's 540 again. It's technically the first 1-minute candle to make a new high. I took a starter there, 500 shares at 538. I'm assuming a stop loss basically down at 520, which would be the low of this prior candle. So in at 538, just a small position, 500 shares. A little bit of a false breakout there. We've got 10 seconds left on the current 5-minute candle. It's lighter. It's a lighter volume red candle. So now we're getting a new candle to come in, new 5-minute. I had the prior 5-minute candle was 551, so that could be a potential add. I'm in at 538, 546, popping up there. If we could get the short squeeze here, it could look nice. I added there, looking for that break at 551, so that add was at 543. Average cost now is 541. Another topping tail coming in there. Not looking very encouraging for this break. We try, and then there's a lot of sellers stacked there. And hidden sellers, they don't have their orders aren't out here on the level 2 where you can see the size. I still look good on the 5-minute. There we go, nice. So 15,000 share seller there at 550. See if that gets bought up. No, another pullback there. See if we can push through and get a quick squeeze. I'm going to set 500 to sell off at 577. If we just get like a quick pop, maybe it'll be fast enough I can take off half that position. There's 551. Still watching this here. 555, and then again, quick pullback, right? So it's 555, and then you get this quick pullback. So again, still watching to see if we can break 550 here. My average cost is 541. I haven't added again. I'm just waiting to see what this is going to do. There's 550 again. See those some sellers there. There's 553, 555. There's a 10,000 share seller there at 548. They got bought up or pulled their order. So still just sitting tight here. I have that limit order at 577 to see if we just get this quick pop up to 580 on any short covering. There's 551 again. So watching here, 545. Doesn't look like we're going to break that 550. But who knows if we keep holding the ADMA here. I'm going to put that sell order back out there. I'd canceled it looking like I was going to need to maybe just bail on this trade. Which looks like I still might have to here. Okay, so I'm going to bail there. So that was just a small $13 loss. I took that exit. We can't get up through 550. We gave it plenty of shots to just really get that acceleration and that short covering and no go. So I took an exit at 538. You can see now all of a sudden we're clear back down to 514. So $13 loss, not a big deal on that one. I thought maybe we would get this nice squeeze up through 550. So I had that limit order out at 577 at one point, and then I moved it to 570, and we didn't get the pop up there. So I'm just seeing if anything else is hitting the scanners right now. GXAI is pulled way back. That was the other one we were kind of watching. NAMM is what we're currently watching here on our radar. Looks like it might try to recover the 21 EMA. SLGB has had a pretty big pullback from a high of 316 down to $2. So that's been hitting the scanner. Still watching. Took a position back there at 534 on NAMM. We're holding this 21 EMA. You can see we've done that. We did it 1, 2, 3 prior times. This might be getting tired where it's the fourth time, but I'm going to take that starter position there at 534. I'm essentially assume like a 516 stop loss back here at the 34 EMA. So just watching here to see what this does. If we get any push higher, I can always add back. This looks like we're going to get some more opportunity on it. So again, just watching. Small starter, I won't give this a lot of room either. So we'll see here what this does, and what if we get any move higher up off of the 34 EMA here. So just watching. MBAI is hitting the scanner. I'm going to take my exit right there. Another little small loss. Tried that and just not up through there. Look at MBAI. So really nice push off of this first one. Candle making a high 213 to 250. I was watching NAMM, so that's had a nice move there. Again, I don't feel like I can buy it up here. I just feel like I would be buying the top. So I won't look to buy that. NAMM's now pulled back almost to 5. So yeah, getting that pullback. So you can see where that 21 EMA, worked once, twice here for a quick pop, 3 times on the recovery, kind of a smaller fourth time here, and then again, and then now this time just doesn't look like it's going to go the same route. I like these smaller histograms. Like You can see even back here, smaller histogram on the TTM squeeze, squeeze. This one's a little larger, but it did resolve and work out. Smaller again, quick flip. This was one red bar and then right back to strong bull. And right now we don't know what this histogram is going to look like yet, but so probably call it there. I'm red 691 right now. Best winner was NAMM. I tried that a couple different times. EBTV green on that one as well. So we're early on in the week, and I don't, I definitely don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't need to make Monday a massive day either way. And earlier I was looking at my metrics, so I can bring those back up again just really quick while we're watching here. Although it does seem like NAMM may still try to give this another shot, but if I go look at my metrics for last week, I'll do a more in-depth recap later, but I've had a great month so far, up $17,750. Today's red day 691 right now, so I'd be up just over 17,000. It would be smaller red day, which is where I need to keep those red days, and we still have the rest of January. So it's been a great trading month. December was great as well. I really did a much better job at managing these red days, and thus far in January I've done better as well. So just got to continue to keep that consistency, focus, and mindset, and keep these weeks as green weeks. That's really the big push right now. So we're watching here, and no need to get out of hand on a Monday and try to make something out of nothing. We've had a lot of stocks. You can see I've traded more stocks than I typically do. I'm typically between maybe 3, maybe 4 stocks. Today I've traded 6 different stocks, which just goes to show there's been a lot of kind of pop up and pull back without much in the way of continuation. As far as what I feel like anything that's given a decent opportunity. MBAI kind of down off of 255 here. NAMM still looking interesting. We're above the VWAP, we're above the pre-market high, but our EMAs are now a little upside down. MBAI looks like it might be trying to reverse here. So MBAI, that high is 245. The low 227. It's had some good movement this morning here. So just watching MBAI here. Took a starter there, 249. See if we get this push higher. Added, now we're 263. So I'm in at 253 average cost. There's 265. For MBAI, there's 267. See if we can get this acceleration up to 280, 275. I guess 275 would be the next target. There's 268, a little bigger seller there. There's 270. I've got just 2,000 shares here, 272, 271. Sold 300 right there, sold 300 more. So I got 1,400 shares left. I'm going to sell another 300 there. That's a nice pop up to 278. So I'm going to keep this last 1,100. I'm looking at the daily. So on the daily, we got 268, so 288, and then 313. So 288 and then 313 would be kind of our next targets. So 288 and 313. Go back right now. My average cost is 256. $256 average cost. I'm gonna put another 300 sell order there. That filled at 268. Got another 300 there at 268. Let's see if that sells out. Kind of assuming break even now, worst case scenario on these final shares. There, took that 300 off. So I got 500 shares left here. That was a pretty nice resolution from 250 up to 280. So that would be kind of our that's our second pullback. So I don't know that I'll do the third pullback. I've got 500 shares here still. We're getting a little bit more acceleration up to 292 there. So there's 286, 287. Let's keep an eye on. Okay, so we're up there at 283. There's 22. There's a 22,000 share seller there. There's 284. So I put in another sell order there at 283. See if that'll pop back up. A little bit larger tail there. So that came out. There was a 22,000 share seller there. So I've got 200 shares left here. Let's see where this goes. That seller just got bought up. There's 285, 290. And another quick pop up to 293. So 313 would be the next target on the daily. So trying here at 3. I'll go ahead and take the rest of that off there. So I'm completely out now. Nice winner there, $411. So just red 280 now. And that's kind of the second pullback. So you have this little impulse sideways. I don't really count this as a pullback. So once we got this new breakout, there's your first pullback. That was first 1 minute candle making a high at 214. This is the one I took here, 246. and that got a resolution now up to 297. My best exit was it's like 285. It's my best exit there, so not too bad. A little deeper pullback, so I won't take this third pullback. The first and second pullbacks seem to be the ones that resolve the best. Interestingly enough, we've got NAMM here trying again, just up above 5. I'm gonna wait. I want to see this histogram get back closer to strong bull, so I'm gonna just sit and wait on this one. Now a little deeper pullback on MBAI down to 270, 270. That was a nice, $300, sorry, $400 winner on that. Now red just 280 on the day. I'm in no big rush. If something else looks like it'll set up, then I'll give it an opportunity. But volume profile on MBAI still looks good. It's had good movement there. And 524. Watching here on NAMM. And MBAI, it could go higher. It's getting some good attention. It's up now 92%. It's number one on the low float top gainers list. The top gapper is still BATL, which is up 411%. But it's pulled back quite a bit. If I go look at BATL, hit a high of just under 7. It's back at 435. So that one's definitely off my radar. BNAI, too expensive. It's up at $32 a share. GXAI hit a high around 260 in the pre-market, now back at $1.53. So next up would be NAMM, which we're watching. EVTVs pulled back too much. It was up around $3 now at 260. And MBAI, MBAI's got some good movement. This is the first red 5-minute candle. It's moved from $1.80 up to just under $3 a share, and we're getting a little bit heavier selling pressure on it right now. So I'm still watching NAMM. Like I said, I would want to see this get much closer back to strong bull on the histogram, and I would really like to see MACD opened up. So we'll see what that does here. Just watching to see what this does. Nothing else really looking too interesting. This would be basically that third pullback on MBAI. We go look at MBAI. Just those first and second pullbacks seem to resolve the best. So here's MBAI. So this is the first pullback right here around 220. So you get the impulse and then a couple of pullback candles, and then your first 1-minute candle make a new high for a new breakout. Again, same thing, impulse, 3 candles, pullback, next candle to make a new high. And at this point, that third pullback I'm not very keen on. If I can take the first and second pullback, those are the most interesting ones. Typically, they seem to have the highest likelihood of resolving higher. And on NAMM, we've had kind of some moves, now some consolidation. This consolidation right here looks similar to what we had back kind of at that 9:56 to 10:09 a.m. So right here we're consolidating about 10:26, 10:44. I want to see these. I'd like to see this 8-period moving average get up above and us to get closer back to strong bull. We're still not MACD open yet, which is fine. That's more of a confirmation indicator. But I will keep watching NAMM here. I'm being mindful too, as far as this was up into 550 and really couldn't break 550, so there wouldn't necessarily, back of mind, I'm not thinking that there's a ton of move on this. I would expect the sellers to be really stacked up there in the 550 range still. If we could get a short squeeze, then I think reasonably we could pop 580, maybe even $6 a share. NAMM on the 5-minute looks okay. I took a starter there at 528, added, so I've got 1,500 shares there now. 531 is my average cost. Looking for this to curl back up to 550. I'm going to set a sell for 500 shares up there at 550. Just kind of assuming that we're going to try to test 550 again. Which should be right where I've got my crosshairs here at 550. So there's 536. New compression squeeze, strong bull here. It's looking pretty good. There's a little bit deeper pullback. Interesting to see that popped up there. Now I'm watching to see if we're actually going to hold the 21, which it looks like we are presently. But that I'm going to take that off there. So I exited. That would have been the candle ideally that you would have seen that push back up to 550 and some short covering. But we hit, what was the high there? We hit 542, and then you saw that real steep pullback. Now we are strong bull on the histogram, which I like the look of, and we're holding the 21 right now. Kind of looking to see if there's any support down here in the fives, or maybe a little lower risk entry. So I took a starter there again at 523. Watching this hold to 21 with us being strong bull. I like the look of that. MACD's open. So 523, just a small position, 500 shares. If we could get this push higher, I'd be looking to add. Kind of a topping tail on the 5-minute chart here, which doesn't look great. That broke to be the first, wasn't technically the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, but it put in a new high and then immediately pulled back off of that 540. So just watching here. Still strong bull on the histogram. I've got 1,000 shares right here at 524. Average cost, there's 528. Maybe now we'll get the curl. It might have been just a little early on that last one. 530. I added 500 there at 530. I like this histogram, the way this is looking. MACD still open. There's 533, 35. See if we can get the push up now through 550. Or up to 550, I should say. Got 20 seconds left on this current 5-minute candle. If we can get a move higher here. We're 531 right now on ask. So still watching here. Okay, so I took my exit there, 515. I'm going to keep watching this. We're in a mid-compression squeeze, but I kind of had that 515. The low of these candles, 516, 516. That was my back of mind stop loss there. So I took that exit. I've built this gain or this loser back up a little bit here. And I had this about down to 200, so I've given back 400 of that make back. I'm going to continue to watch this mid-compression squeeze here. We've got a minute left on the current 5-minute candle. Took a starter here on MBAI looking for that high a day break. In at 290 right now. Added there. Average cost now 292. That hit 3. So average cost right now 294. Just 302, see if we can get some more acceleration here. Then it's right back down to 296. I'll take my exit on that one. So I did take a position here just now on NAMM, looking for that break of 250. I added there. I've got 2,500 shares. Average cost 544. See if we can break up through this 550 area. There's some seller stack there. Just watching this here. There's 534. I want to see if this will hold. Kind of got this quick transition back on the histogram here. Weak bear back to strong bull. Just watching. Pull back below the 21. Bigger red there. I took my exit there. Kind of tougher. I was just 200 red now. Now down to 1,300 red. So just watching. I'm gonna flip back over to MBAI just to see what's going on here. So, okay, so I'm back in MBAI here. You can see my average cost 268. Looking for this curl back higher. I've added there again. I'm in 271 average cost. 4,000 shares. I've added there again. Looking for this breakup through 290. So I'm in 274. Look for this to break 288 and push up to 3. So again, average cost 274. Looking for this to curl up through 3. Got a pivot level at 313 there. There's 291, 292. Let's see if this can get up there to 313. So I'm going to put a sell limit out at 305. There's 295. There we go. Quick pop up. Got some out there at 305. Sell a little more there at 305. There's 310. So I'm going to hold this. 311. We'll watch and see if we can get this next leg higher. From this price here, we'd be then looking at 345. 345 is kind of our next back of mind target. I'll draw that really quick. So 345 is the next kind of daily resistance. I've got 3,500 shares. So I've taken 1,500 shares off. Got 3,500 shares here still. I sell 500 there at 318. Sell another 500. So I've got 2,500 shares here still. There's some bigger sellers coming in. I've got an order there at 306 to take a little more off. So I've got 2,000 shares left here still. So best exit there, 318 on a 323 high. 345 would be kind of our next target on the daily, as far as the daily chart goes, which would be right up near that key psychological 350 level. So I've got 2,000 shares left here. There's 315. I'm gonna sell just a little more there. I've got an order there at 315. Looking to go 330. So I've got 1,500 shares left here still. See if we can keep pushing higher. Limit up's not until 360, so we've got some good room up to the limit up. Took 500 off there at 327. So nice trade so far. Got 1,000 shares left here. A little bit of a topping tail there. I'm gonna take 500 more off there at 321. So right now best exit 327. So we've got 500 shares left here. Nice high there, 339, 340. There's 349, nice. So still got 500 shares. My average cost 286. So 349, that got right up through that 345 resistance. I'm gonna take half off there at 338 of my remaining. And this may push higher. We're now getting a little bit of momentum here. So I've got 250 shares left here. Nice green so far. Up just $600 realized on the day. So that's a good day. It's nice to see that curl up through that $3 level. So from 345, we've got kind of the next, I mean, 385, there's some, in the 350s, there's resistance, which for all intents and purposes, 350s, 345 is essentially right there at 350. So, you know, once you get through 350, then you're probably looking at 385 if we get through 350. So I'm going to set a sell limit back up at 330. I'll go 325 to take the rest of this position off. I will do 330. Let's go up to 330. So that would be the remainder of my position there at 330 to get taken out. We'll see if that hits. And if so, then we'll be out and done there. And MACD's still open, which is a good sign. There's 330. Yep, that got taken out. So I'm out there. That was 330 on that pop back up of this candle. This would be the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. Sorry, second. We had one right here at 320. This would be the second pullback after the breakout. So fresh breakout to high of day right here. First pullback is this 320, then up to 349. So that would be the second pullback. And you can see right now that's looking like a little bit of a false breakout there. So I'm going to call it here. That's up, ended up 709 on the day. So not a bad day. Coming into an easy Monday here. Ended up green, $709. That's awesome. Traded a lot of stocks. There was a lot of dispersed attention today. Things were popping up and then pulling back, and then it would pop up again and pull back. And definitely tougher trading day for me today, but happy and grateful to end green, $700 on the day today. Traded these, total of these 7 stocks. Biggest winner was this MBAI, and had a really nice move on this last little bit here up to 349, 350. So I was able to catch this move as we came up through 270, and this may go higher. It's definitely got some attention. It's up 120% on the day. It is the low float top gainer right now, but another little bit of a false breakout there. So again, this may move higher. I feel good about where I'm at on the day. I definitely don't need to push anything crazy on the first trading day of the week and dig myself a deep hole. So grateful to be green on the day, ending up $700 here on the day. That keeps that focus on consistency and process there, really trying to focus on those key principles, you know, assuming that I'm wrong until proven otherwise, which allows me to keep my starter position a little smaller and then add. I do expect to be uncomfortable. That's key principle number 2. Number 3, I add when I'm right. And number 4, I never add when I'm wrong. And so that mindset has been able to help me string together some much better green days and really focus on, as you can see, focus on this process. And really grateful for the help. I've been praying really hard for God to help me understand, you know, and learn what I need to learn. Credit to him for the success that I've been able to have. I am paper trading in a simulator. I'm pushing myself to focus on this process. And you can see that the December and January has been phenomenal. I really started to try to implement more of this mindset focus, as I mentioned, those 4 key principles back at the start of December, and it has helped tremendously. So again, with a $700 day, roughly up today, I'll be up just over 18,000 on the month, and that's awesome. Really feel good about that. Looking forward to tomorrow, and then our transition to live trading at some point here in the near future is my goal. So we continue to see some momentum here with MBAI, and if you're still trading it, I would be looking for next target up above 360 would be 380. This looks like it's going to get a little bit of a push here, and if it doesn't double top up at this key psychological level, you probably could get that move to 360 and then 380. As I'm looking at the daily chart here, yeah, I'd say 360, 385, and then 394. So I'll just draw those really quick. 360, 385, and then 394. Which again would be coming into a key psychological resistance right up there near 4. So good overall today. Happy to end the day green. Really hope you enjoy this live trading session recap. And if you're green on the day, congratulations. If you're not, and you're bigger red outside of your rules, you know, definitely go back, spend some time, review your trades, and then consider trading in a simulator if you're not able to string together the consistency that you're really looking for. That's been a huge benefit to me. It's allowed me to focus in on my rules, focus in on my entries and exits, and really give myself an opportunity to build that confidence and that track record. You can see here on MBAI, really big pop, double top. I mentioned if we don't get a double top here, then we might push to 360. But right now it's looking like we'll have a double top right at that key psychological 350 level. So anyways, wishing you all the best. Stay green on the day. Take care.